Hello everyone, my name is Sai Suresh. I'm a part of Group 7. In this presentation, we're going to be discussing our proposal for Team Femur, which is a nonprofit organization that has developed and is distributing a free open source electronic medical record software to be used on medical missions around the globe. So just an introduction, talk about our group members. We have Alex Nakla, who's a computer science major, Ryan Foley, who's an electrical engineering major, Brian Wiley, who's also an electrical engineering major, and myself, I'm a mechanical engineering major. So we've all had some type of experience, whether it be an internship or co-op or even volunteering work with working with software and different data collecting software, and we've kind of have qualifications to discuss how Team Femur can use our proposal for their benefit in the future. So kind of the objectives for this presentation is we're first going to go over the background information on what Team Femur is and what they're trying to do, what their goals are. Then we're going to discuss their problems that they face with how they're currently running their organization. We're also going to discuss possible solutions and deal with our proposal and how these proposals relate back to their solutions. And then we're going to finish out the presentation by talking about how each team member is going to contribute to the process and our tentative schedule in doing so. So what is Team Femur? So Team Femur is a nonprofit organization. It was founded in 2013 with a goal in providing continuity in transient healthcare delivery. So for an example, a medical group that uses the Team Femur software goes on a mission to Peru in 2017, uses their software, and kind of gets data on basically their vitals and things like that, and so they can come back the next year and see how they've progressed. So currently the FEMUR, the Free Electronic Medical Record System, which I discussed before, is open source technology. It provides a system that allows doctors to use electronic medical records in areas with no internet. So a lot of the medical missions where FEMUR is being used is not, obviously there's no internet and there's not as many resources, so this is kind of like something to bridge the gap. So in addition to this, the software is being used currently by dozens of universities. So what Team Femur does is works with a lot of universities that have volunteers that will go on these medical mission trips, and it costs $25 for these universities per day to rent out the Femur software. So this is just kind of an example of what a triage looks like for when these volunteers do go on the mission trips. They kind of take simple data about general info, first name, last name, and kind of their vitals, what their temperature are, blood pressure, if they're a woman, if they're pregnant, and basically try to get some data on what a certain group of, so in the case of if they're going village to village, they can kind of get data on, are there any issues, are there any like common issues between these people, or if they go to places where there are natural disasters and see how they've been affected. Some of the current obstacles they face is slow progression. Everyone working in the organization is currently a volunteer, so it's kind of hard to get more people involved. Not many people want to spend their time if they're not getting paid, obviously. Another issue is that outreach is harder. Software gets patched over and is less coherent, making it harder to keep stable over time. So a lot of improvements to the software can't really occur as fast as they should. Currently, the Team Femur is working only through donations and grants, and it's very minimal. So, and if they want to run as a full-time organization, in order to do this, it's going to cost $1 million to $1.5 million, and this is the cost for employees and full offices, and it'll also help them to develop and grow their software over time. And it's also a struggle for them to keep the Femur software free for public use. So the only way they can actually try to make this $1 million to $1.5 million is to try to develop the software for sale. And this is one of the decisions between their two options. So I'm going to pass it off to Alex, and he's going to talk about how Team Femur is trying to make their company financially viable.
Thank you, Sai. So the first of Team Femur's two options is to make a commercial version of their existing software. And their existing software has two strengths that make it ideal in a temporary clinic setup. The first is that the hardware setup itself is pretty simple and minimal. It consists of 3 boxes connected with 2 cords, and to turn the system on and give all the medical team access to the medical records, you just have to turn on a laptop. Secondly, because FEMUR is an electronic medical system, you get all the benefits of electronic medical records. You get quick and easy patient lookup, which means a more streamlined experience for doctors. And it also means that data is being kept with more integrity than if it were kept on pen and paper, which means better healthcare for the patients. Additionally, it means that patient data can be more easily analyzed than if it were on pen and paper. Now, there are two possible clients for a commercial femur software in the United States. The first are urban search and rescue teams, which are overseen by the Federal Emergency Management Association. These are basically natural disaster response teams that give crucial medical care at the site of natural disasters and do not currently use an electronic medical record system on site. The second such possible client is Rock Medicine, which is a nonprofit group that sends medical teams to large concert venues to treat generally minor illnesses and injuries that may occur. The second option for Team Femur is to create 3 organizational branches, one of which would be a for-profit medical analytics branch. Before we look at the analytics branch specifically, let's look at the other 2 branches. So the first branch would be an FEMR software deployment branch. This branch would work with groups such as those previously mentioned to encourage the use of femur software. This means providing training to groups in these organizations on how to use the software, how to set up the hardware. It would also mean making more physical FEMR systems to be rented out. And it would also mean supporting teams who are using the system in the field. These increased amount of femur software deployments might also offer more chances for data collection for the medical analytics branch. The second branch would be an academic or research-based branch. This branch would try to analyze best practices for temporary mobile clinics. The third aforementioned medical analytics branch would use data from femur and from other sources to identify health trends by region, identify resource availability and deficiency by region, and also the cost effectiveness of care that's being delivered. So Team Femur's financial viability has wide-ranging benefits outside of it becoming financially viable. First, if it's a full-time organization, they can have a full-time development team. This means that the software gets improved quicker. Better software can lead to better healthcare, a better experience for doctors, and with more features, gives doctors the tools they need to spend more time with the patients. And thirdly, the data that can be collected by femur can help to predict disease earlier while it can still be treated, and that helps everyone. So our project proposal is focused on deciding between these 2 options, the commercial software version and the medical analytics branch. So in order to decide which option is best, we need to evaluate the costs of both strategies in money, time, and sustainability over a large period. We need to do a risk analysis of both strategies because they'll both have delayed payouts. A lot of code has to be written before either can bring income to the company. And we also have to see which plan will give us more income. Having said this, I'll now pass the mic over to Brian Wiley for him to talk about our group more specifically.
Thank you, Alex. When it comes to projects such as these, team credentials provide an accurate representation of what to expect from a group. This can be substantiated upon their educational and business backgrounds, as well as the roles each team member will be performing. Speaking of our team as a whole, each group member is currently in their senior year of their undergraduate degree and is soon to be undergoing, or has already taken it upon themselves to enroll in their capstone or keystone project course. This shows that within our group, each member is well informed within their respective educational background and is already familiar with the group project format in an educational setting. This includes mediums such as technical reports, presentations, and research papers. When it comes to professional responsibilities and experience, each team member has had their time in the real-world environment. These previous experiences have provided our team members with real-world problem-solving skills and communication experience. With these experiences had, each member is knowledgeable about proper work ethics and deadlines, specifically those related to a tech company such as Femur. Now I will give a brief outline of each of the group members' credentials, as well as their responsibilities within this project. Ryan is a student in the Electrical and Computer Engineering program, focusing primarily on computer hardware and software topics. He is currently in a co-op position at Sumitomo Electrical Wiring Systems. His expertise lie within technical document review, as well as video formatting and editing. For this reason, Ryan will be responsible for video production and editing, as well as general research and document revision. Alex, a computer science student, is doing volunteer work for Team Femur. His primary role in this position is software development for the nonprofit company. Because of his experience with Femur, he is also knowledgeable in the background of the company, as well as having familiarity with the members of the team. For this reason, Alex is responsible for project coordination and management. Our next member, Sai, is a mechanical engineering intern at Fiat Chrysler Automotive and has 2 previous experiences interning in the automotive industry. In these roles, he has had experience with data analysis software suites, which will prove beneficial when researching possible solutions for this project. Sai will be the primary researcher of the background medical software market. Lastly, I'll be speaking about myself. I'm an electrical engineering student with a focus in computer engineering, and am currently working in the Wayne State Robotics Lab as the laboratory technician. I've had previous experiences with internships both domestically and abroad. In these positions, I have had experience with technical documentation and industrial tolerance testing. For this project, my primary task will be to provide secondary market research, as well as documenting group meetings and file document organization. Now I'll proceed to my next topic, team accountability. Team accountability is vital to the success of any project. For this project in particular, probable challenges that might occur may be a misalignment in efforts of group participation and meeting project deadlines. The solution to these problems is reinforcing the quality of content produced among group members. This will be done in several ways. One of the ways that this will be done is by keeping track of the meetings by summarizing the content discussed in these meetings. This will allow us to be able to refer to a definitive set of information and agreements on how certain stages of the project will be conducted. During this course, we also plan on writing pre-production outlines and drafts for each of the individual projects. With these outlines written ahead of time, in combination with our meeting summaries, each project task will be clear and simple for all to understand and easily accomplishable as a group. Lastly, upon writing and documenting the project, an iterative approach will be taken to project review, giving group feedback to each of the group members. This will allow all members to have input on each topic in the project, while also documenting the major contributions of each member, and that will ultimately lead to a more refined result. Up next is Ryan to speak about team communication and scheduling.
Thanks, Brian. So for team communication for the rest of the semester, we'll be using several different types of technology. Google Suite will allow us to communicate and collaborate in real time on several different types of documents. Using Google Slides, we'll create our presentations. Google Hangouts, we will communicate online to discuss ideas and plan out the schedule for our projects. And we will use WhatsApp to communicate general ideas and quick questions to each other through text. And we'll be using Microsoft Outlook to communicate with our audience and our professor the rest of the semester. For meetings, we'll be holding an online meeting every Monday utilizing Google Hangouts. Midweek meetings in person or online, which will usually be on Wednesday or Thursday, and we'll be having Sunday meetings if we are required to record a presentation in person. For the rest of the semester, we have a tentative schedule. For Project 2, we met online on Monday the 11th, and then met in person on Wednesday the 13th to plan out our parts. When we met today, Sunday the 17th, in person to record our video. For our next project, Project 3, we plan on meeting on Monday the 18th and having each person's draft for the document completed by Thursday the 21st. Our proofreading will be done by Saturday, and our final product will be ready to turn in on Sunday. The remaining projects for the rest of the semester will follow a similar weekly format, meeting on Mondays and later in the week in person. But exact dates will be decided closer to the due dates for the final projects. The picture below is an example of our Google Calendar that we are utilizing to communicate deadlines and our schedule to each other. So overall, our topic is Team Femur, which is an organization that creates a free open source electronic medical software that is used to assist doctors take medical information in remote locations. The problem and importance of that we are addressing within Team Femur is this organization is attempting to become a financially viable organization so they can continue to develop their software and allow it to be used for free. For our team goals this semester and accountability, we are plan on having open lines of communication so we can keep up with deadlines and produce the highest quality work possible. And for the schedule the rest of the semester, we will be meeting every Monday online utilizing Google Hangouts, and then we will have an online or in-person meeting midweek to address who will be working on which parts of the project, and then if necessary we'll meet in person on a Saturday or Sunday to finalize and submit our product. Thank you for watching. We look forward to working on this project throughout the remainder of the semester.